गीतमाला में दर्शन सहोता की ओर से नमस्कार, सत श्री अकाल और अदावज और आप सभी भाई बहनों का हार्दिक स्वागत है आज के प्रोग्राम में। आज फ्राइडे का दिन है। फ्राइडे का मतलब होता है फ्राइडे नाइट मनी शो विद रंजीत धालीवाल जी। रंजीत धालीवाल जी जो एक बहुत ही सुलझे हुए, ऑनेस्ट और बहुत ही अच्छी सेवाएं देने वाले मॉर्टगेज ब्रोकर हैं। ही इज़ आल्सो प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ क्लैरिटी फाइनेंशियल। इनसे मेरी बातचीत रहेगी, ध्यान से प्रोग्राम सुनिएगा। बहुत ही फायदे की चीज़ें आपके लिए लेकर आते हैं जब भी हमारे साथ होते हैं रंजीत धालीवाल जी। रंजीत जी, आपका स्वागत।
Thank you very much, sir. Great to be here.
इंटरेस्ट रेट के साथ रंजीत जी क्या हो रहा है? ऊपर जाने फिर शुरू हो गए?
Well, we've seen, the Bank of Canada came out and increased their overnight rate from 0.25% to about 0.5% on Tuesday, and therefore the chartered banks followed. We thought maybe they may not follow because they still owe us that one extra cut that they didn't take. Because there's one point in, I believe it was 08 or 09 March, I think, when the government cut the interest rates quite a bit. 75 basis points. In fact, they cut the overnight rate, but the banks only cut it by 50 basis points. They said their spreads are narrowing and so on. So we still haven't seen that back. I want to see that back. But prime rate, yes, absolutely. It's gone up to 2.5%. Now, when you take a look at the mortgage rates, however, it hasn't really affected the longer term mortgages. As we anticipated, we've been saying that the bond yields are coming down, and the 5-year fixed rates actually came down. If they haven't already come down, you will see them coming down. Now, there are some positive and negative implications of that. The positive implication, obviously, if you want to lock in, you're going to have an opportunity to lock in closer to 4%. On the 5-year fixed. But those individuals that need to refinance or they need to break their fixed rate mortgages and renegotiate their mortgage, you can see your penalty will probably increase. So if you're thinking of doing that, you may want to rush out today, tomorrow, or whatever and ask your bank what the penalty is, and then come and see a mortgage broker to see if it makes sense for you to refinance. So positive and negative both.
All right. Real estate पर कैसा असर होगा इसका?
Well, naturally, whenever the interest rates are going up, it has a negative effect on real estate prices. However, having said that, I've never seen a rate at 0.25%, the overnight rate, and prime rate around that as far as variable rates are concerned. And even on the fixed rate side, we're at like 50, 60 or low as far as the interest rates are concerned. So yes, the rate has gone up by about 0.25%, but the average mortgage out there is about $300,000, and it's going to make a difference of about $38 for those individuals. So I don't think this is enough to get somebody to put off their decision to buy or anything like that. I think it is obviously the interest rates are going to affect the real estate market, but CMHC is still predicting that the prices in all of Canada next year are going to go up by about 1.5%.
Really?
They did revise their forecast from 2.5% to about 1.5%. Now there are other economists who are predicting that, and now that's the Canadian average. So there are some individuals who are saying that the GTA market might actually already be overheated by 5 to 10%. But one of the things is I've seen many times people take shots at the real estate market or try to speculate that the market's going to go down. I've also seen people over the last 10 years. I still know people, in fact, who are still waiting for the prices to go down.
All right.
And they still keep going up.
जिन लोगों के पास वेरिएबल मॉर्टगेज है,
yes,
कितनी मॉर्टगेज उनकी ऊपर जाएगी? ये जो रेट ऊपर गया है, 1 लाख के पीछे कितने पैसे उनको ज्यादा देने पड़ेंगे?
They're looking at about less than $15, about $13.
$13 per month?
Per month, per $100,000.
Okay. All right. आप हमें ये बताएं कि क्या अभी भी अच्छा मौका है जिन लोगों ने पहला घर खरीदना है उनके लिए पहला घर खरीदना चाहिए?
I'm going to give you an answer that I've probably been giving over the last 8-9 years, ever since about 9 years since we started doing this show. And that is, usually when you're looking to buy your first home, as long as you don't take a big jump from the kind of accommodation that you're staying in to going to something really extravagant may not make sense. But if it's something similar, it almost always makes sense to buy a home. And this market is no different because you're buying a home not to speculate. You're not saying that, okay, I'm going to buy it, I'm going to hold it for 3 years, then 2 years I'm going to rent, and then I'm going to go into it. No. Generally speaking, people buy and they buy for a lifetime. And if that's the case, I mean, I bought my home, my first home about 10 years ago.
Gee.
And I paid $223,000 for that.
Uh-huh.
And then I traded up once by putting in, I think, $15,000 into the house. And so that basic $223,000 investment, let's say $250,000 investment, it's worth over $500,000 right now.
It's worth
and yeah, so now I can go back. I mean, at the time when I was buying my first home, when I was a first-time buyer, I didn't want to pay, rather than $223, I didn't want to pay $224.5. I might have been really concerned about the decision and so on. Or if I was hoping for that price to come down to $220 or $215 or something and not buy it, and the process prices kept going up, it would have been a huge disaster. Now, on the other hand, if I had bought it by $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 more expensive than that $223, if I bought it for $230, $240, $245, is it really going to make a big difference to me at the end of the day?
It was still a good deal.
It's always going to be a good thing, right? So you're not going to remember that. So when you're looking to buy your first home, as long as you're not going to make any serious upside moves, like as far as the type of accommodation, that you don't go into a palace from renting a basement or something like that. That doesn't make sense. As long as there's not much payment shock based on whatever rent that you were paying into the home ownership cost, you're almost always better in owning your own home. And the other thing is, CMHC came out with some numbers a couple of years ago. They looked at two individuals in the middle age category, one in the same income earning category as well. And one was renting and one was owning a home. The renter had a net worth of $25,000. And the guy who owned his own home had a net worth of $125,000.
Wow.
So, I mean, that tells us that this is the first thing. When you come to this country, you want to start making some money, want to start building a financial base, go get a house.
All right. अपना टेलीफोन नंबर दीजिए रंजीत जी, उसके बाद मैं एक कमर्शियल ब्रेक लेना चाहूँगा.
Absolutely. It's 416-992-7265. This is my direct line, so if you want to discuss anything at all, call me at 416-992-7265 anytime.